Okay, hello everyone. Good day. So we are going to continue our discussion. And pardon me if na may madunggan nga background noise. So we are still on chapter 2.3, market entry strategies. So in this chapter, we will be talking about um, the mode of entry. Okay, what are the types of mode of entry when it comes to entering a certain market, especially a foreign market? So we have exporting, licensing, franchising and event, joint ventures and alliances, and also wholly owned subsidiaries. So with these types of mode of entry, which one would be the best? Given nga murag si Singapore man to napilian, so with Singapore, unsa kang mas better? Mag-export ra ba ta? Mag-licensing ba ta o mag-franchising? So let's try to know each of these types of mode of entry. So the objectives is still the same because this is still under chapter 2. So I will open up this chapter with this quote. The art of marketing is the art of brand building. If you are not a brand, you are a commodity. So that means if you are very effective when it comes to marketing, you need to build your brand, not to sell, just simply sell your product. You need to make your brand known, especially in the international market. Because if you are not going to be a brand, if that's not your goal, to be known as a brand itself, you'll be considered as a just a simple commodity, just another product in the market. So try to make your marketing very effective and better. So first is the choosing the mode of entry. So the first mode of entry out of the many foreign market entry modes exists, we have exporting. So under exporting, now we have at least three types. We have indirect exporting, cooperative exporting, and direct exporting. So we'll discuss these in details later. So that is the first one, exporting, and its three types. Next would be licensing. Third would be franchising. Fourth would be joint ventures and alliances. And fifth would be wholly owned subsidiaries, at least five mode of entry. So let's try to discuss the first one. So the first one would be exporting. So exporting is the most where most companies starts their international expansion by exporting. Diri daw ang murag pinaka number one step, okay, when it comes to exploring the international or foreign market. Because under this first step, you'll know kung halinon ba gyud imong product, mahalin ba siya sa lain nga country, bisag ginamay or gamay pang imong gasto unong. Igo ra ka mag-ship, mag-deliver. So that's why number one gyud ni siya, especially gamay pa imong company. So for many small businesses, exporting is very often the sole alternative for selling their goods in the foreign market. So for them daw, mura daw na ilang option. Kaya nga naman, gamay pa man ang ilang business. Di pa man sila maka-afford og franchise or branch out to foreign markets. Okay, that is very costly. So kay medyo gamay pa man ako ang business, focus na sa ako sa igo ra mag-deliver or deliver or produce og ako ang product. Okay? If small pa man akong business, di pa ma-afford mag-explore pa gyud sa bigger or mas dako nga scale of entry sa market. So ginagmay sa ko baby steps. So a fair number of Fortune 500. So this is an example. So we have the Fortune 500. So these companies are the top 500. Baka itong top most yun nga companies all over the world. So we have Boeing. Hopefully, kailan mo sa Boeing, kailan mo ani nga mga companies, Boeing and Caterpillar. So I'll try to show you how Boeing looks like. So this is how Boeing looks like. So sila ang company nga produce og mga airplane and gentlemen. Imagine, ani kada ko ang ilang product, eroplano. So dili ra na simple nga eroplano. Ga-produce sila og mga commercial airplanes. We have Ana here. I guess familiar po mo with this one, Ethiopian. And I think Aman tong isa. This one, very familiar. Emirates, sila ang they produce mga airplanes ani nga mga countries. Emirates. I think Emirates is the number one. best airlines in the world karon. Kay sada kay ang ilang accommodation and so on and so forth. So I guess na po sa Philippines natay Boeing nga mga airplanes. So Boeing, apil ni siya sa top 500 daw nga companies nga ga-export sa ilang product. Ano ga-export man si Boeing? Imagine ha, airplane, kailangan din siya export. Yan naman. Kaya ang iyang purpose ng product is para mo-explore internationally. Okay? So that's why through exporting good sila. So how about Caterpillar? Familiar mo with Caterpillar? So they generate a major part of their global revenues via export sales. Caterpillar, think familiar mo ani nga sign? Kani nga sign pa lang daan. Okay, kabalo na mo. Kanang sa construction site. Okay, actually si Caterpillar sila produce mga heavy equipments ng mga ay heavy duty ng mga vehicles, especially mga dump truck, mga unsa pa ni nga mga trucks nga ginagamit for mostly construction site. Imagine, gina-export ra na nila ilang mga product. Nga naman, dili ra man siguro sa US, let's say for example sa US business na. Dili ra mo sa US patukod ang mga building all over the world. So that means all over the world kailangan nila ng product which are these heavy duty nga mga equipments. That's why focus sila sa exporting. So diha na gyud ilang forte. Okay? I guess here, kani oh, we feature gyud siya sa Fortune. So this is Fortune 500. They rank Fortune 500 ginarank na nila ang mga best companies all over the world. So we have Walmart daw, so first one. Next will be Amazon, Apple, and so on and so forth. So makita na ni mga 500 top companies all over the world. So this is updated. Karon pa po ko nag-review. So as you can see, top 10, Walmart. Second, Amazon. Third, Apple, CVS Health, and United Health Group, ExxonMobil, Berkshire Hathaway, Alphabet. I don't know nila yung number one. So all over the world may silang companies. Fortune 500. We'll continue. Okay, in a minute. Okay, so let's continue. Well, now, companies that plan to engage in exporting have a choice between three broad options. Another option, dili lang daw ta mo direct o export lang. So we have what we call indirect exporting, cooperative exporting, and direct exporting. So what are the difference between the three? So the first one, we'll be discussing the indirect exporting. So as you can see here, indirect exporting happens when the firm decides to sell its products in the foreign market through independent intermediaries. So that means dili ikaw mismo ang gabaligya sa imong product. So let's say for example si Caterpillar. Si Caterpillar, wala daw na siya company here in the Philippines. Example na ha. Wala daw siya company. Kasi ang ginahimo, gatap siya. Yan gipang tap tong mga tracking services o gapamaligya og mga truck sa Pilipinas nga mga local nga mga let's say companies, truck dealers, more ng mga term siguro. So let's try to use that. These local truck dealers will, okay, will actually mamalit ni sila og mga product gikan sa Caterpillar. Ila ding ibaligya ang mga dump truck. Dump truck sa Caterpillar, ibaligya nila with other dump trucks nga ilang makita sa all over the world. Okay? Probably na po dump truck from China, from Japan, Germany, and so on and so forth. So, indirect exporting, dili si Caterpillar mismo ang ni-direct baligya, but through independent intermediaries or what we call middlemen. So, the firm uses a middleman based in its home market to handle the exporting. So, those truck dealers are good as middlemen now. So, we call them export merchant. So this is a trading company that will buy the firm's goods outright and then resell them in the foreign market. Or in short, these are wholesalers. The export merchant. Si company ni siya. Si export merchant. Kapalit sila og mga dump truck sa Caterpillar ila ding i-resell diri sa Pilipinas. So the exporter merchant usually specializes in a particular line of products and or in a certain geographical region. Example, truck dealer nga merchants nga pamalayo ang mga bisag unsa nga klaseng truck. Well, we also have what we call export agent. It is a trading company that acts for local manufacturers, usually representing a number of non-competing manufacturers. So they seek and negotiate foreign purchases. So they receive a commission in return for obtaining an export order. While si export agent, lahi ni siya. Igor daw ni siya mo connect kay Caterpillar. Lahi si export merchant ha kay si export merchants murag wholesaler. Si export agent, mura ra daw ni siya og mag-middleman, act as a middleman. Because unlike the export merchant, the agent does not become the owner of the goods and therefore does not assume the risk of not being able to sell profitably overseas. So, ang nahitabo ani, kaya ra daw ni siya mopalit og dump truck if na ay mag-order. So, mara siyang made to order si dump truck ba. Kaya ra na mo siya i-deliver or ibaligya kung na ay mangita sa iya. That is what it meant by the export agent. Okay? Compared sa wholesaler or ni export merchant, iyang ginapalit mismo ang truck. May pay siya daan, ayan na yung ibaligya. This one is di wala siya gipalit, di siya gusto mo gasto, kaya siya mo palit kung may mangita. So we also have what we call the EMC or Export Management Company. So the use of EMC is very popular. Ano naman, because it is an independent firm that acts as the export sales department for non-competing manufacturers. So EMC is actually katong trading ng mga partners. Let's say for example, nadiri tanan tong mga companies nga gapangaligya og truck nga pwede mahimo nimo siya og dealer. Kaya itong mga dealership, I guess familiar mo na, natay murag mga Desmark, kung kanang Desmark, kapamaligya siya ilahi ng dealers or brand sa motor, kapamaligya sila ilahi ng brand sa cars, for example si Desmark. So these are example for EMCs. So independent firm nga ga-act as export sales department. So mura na siya og ga-represent sa imuhang company, okay, nga mamaligya ani nga product. So they act as an agent soliciting orders in foreign markets in the name of the manufacturer. Again, mura kag nag-hire og dealer, mga dealers nimo. Pero gadala sila sa imong name. Pero dili nimo sila directly related. More like affiliate sa imong business. Okay? So other EMCs act as distributor. Pwede po siya what we call distributor on a buy-sell basis. The EMC buys from the firm at a set price and resells to the foreign customers at prices set by the EMC. Mga exclusive partners ni mga company. Nga sila yun ang sa ilara nimo sila baligyaan para sa ilara pod mupalit ang mga lain nga companies. Okay? So we have advantages of indirect exporting. So the firm gets instant foreign market expertise. Because nga naman, naman kay mga middleman. So, dapat instant nga experts. Okay? So, makipag-tap ka sa middleman. The indirect exporters are professionals because imo man gihire, kabalo man sa isa na ginahimo. They can handle all the details involved in processing exporting orders because ano man, ganun mandilan Manila. Pag maayo ang ilang ang orders because they are expert or kabalo na sila sa market daan. So they can appraise market opportunities for the manufacturers. Sila na po mismo mag-take og initiative para mo expand sa local na market or mo kuan pa yun mo spread out or mo expand or call that one mo branch out pa yun sa lain ng mga dealerships. So they appraise market opportunities para mas mudako mudaghan sa ilahang halin, okay? So know-how in selecting agents and or distributors and management of the distribution network. So, kabalo na ka, kinsa nga agent ang mas kada i-partner or himo og dealer as mo mga products as exporters. Pabalaan nimo kinsa ang mas maayo, kinsa makasaligan, kay daghan naman kag ka-interact na dayon puhon-puhon if magsige na kag export sa mo product. So often very little risk is involved nga naman. Kaya sure naman nga mahalin mo ano, because you have a middleman. Sure naman ang mga transactions. So no major resource requirements are required because wala man ka nagpatukod og office or wala ka nagpatukod og manufacturing site sa imuhang sa local nga market. So when the middleman's profits are based on how successfully they export, they are motivated to do a good job. So mostly si middleman kay based on commission daw ilang sweldo. Especially si export agent based on commission. So the more nga mahalinan sila, the more nga mas ganahan sila manarba. While they have advantages, we also have disadvantages. So the company has little or no control over the way its product is marketed in the foreign country. So ikaw nga main or parent company, wa gyud kayo mahimo kung ilang patasan pa yun ang price sa ilang product. Kaya nga naman, once nga gipalit na nila sa imo, wala din gyud control regarding giun sa pag-dispose, pag-resell sa product. So lack of adequate sales support, wrong pricing decisions, or poor distribution channels will inevitably lead to poor sales. So first one, wala kayo support, kaya nga naman, wala man kayo direct representative sa imong company. Wala man kayo mo support sa questions sa mga customers. Mo support or mo cater sa ilang questions. Kaya again, dili man sila directly related sa imong company. Then ang pricing na decision, as I said, probably ilang pasubraan. Kaya kinsa may madaot kung pasubraan nila ang price. Di imuhang company kay mao man ilang gidala nga pangalan. And lastly, distribution channel. So what if dili dahil kayo tsada ang imuhang agent nga na-hire. Pangit ang ilahang services, pangit ang mga courier. So gakad out imuhang product nga gina-deliver. So ill-fated marketing mix decisions made by the intermediary could also damage the company's corporate or brand image. As I said ganina, madawat ang imong pangalan. Kaya naman, what if pangit kay ilang pag-market? Murag ilang ginabutang sa bad light imuhang company. Or, lain ang kuan, murag pagdala nila sa imuhang mga products to the point na ma-discourage sila and again, ang madawat kay ikaw, dili sila. Kaya ilang man gidala imong ngalan. Next, the middleman may have limited experience with handling the company's product line. Open ang problem because again, dili man direct ang imuhang mga middleman or mga representative or distributors sa imong product, so di kay sila kaila sa imong product. So gamay ra ilang experience, know-how sa imong product, lisod kay din ang customer support. So since they are relatively small, they may have limited resources to handle tasks such as warehousing or providing credit financing to force customers. Okay? So kay gamay naman sila, again, walay warehousing, di kay sila maka-demand og sa imong product, right? Walay other investments such as warehouse or kanang gamay ra pud ilang resource to handle even your product and the task itself. So the company has little or no control again to the product, lack of adequate sales support, wrong pricing decisions leads to poor sales, and yeah, nagbalik na siya. So the middlemen may have limited experience, as I said earlier, since they are relatively small, gamay ra pud ilang resources, o gamay ra pud ang ilang financing para maka-provide ng warehouse or sa ilang customers. So medyo another problem to consider. And often intermediaries will focus their efforts on those products that maximize their profit. So what if dili day kahalin nun si Caterpillar? So mahitabo dili kay nila i-focus ang ibaligya imong product. Okay? So another thing to consider. Basin sa kadaghan nilang baligya other sa imong products, dito gid sila mo stick sa asa sila mas halin. So that is another disadvantage for indirect exported. So the decision to develop an export business via an independent middleman centers around three basic questions. So before daw ka mag-export or go into indirect exporting, try to answer these questions. Okay? Number one, does the firm have the time and know-how to enter export markets? Okay, so the first one, does the firm have the time and know-how to enter export markets? Wala ba kay time? kabalaan if may baka og export market. Sa baka experience ani Shopee bisag local lang sa local then international. So try to check your company if makaya ba ninyo. So does the firm have the money and or specialized personnel needed to develop an expert business? So do you have enough investment kaya when it comes to these exporting, kailangan kay specialized personnel para mo-develop sa inyong business. So this could be the export agent. Makakaya ba ni hire persons like them or dealers? So is the foreign business growing at a satisfactory rate? So if sa impaminaw nag-grow siya ang foreign business nimo or naghalinon siya sa kawas, then try to um explore more. So if the answer to any of these questions is negative, then manufacturers should seriously consider relying on specialized export firms. If negative imong answer mostly ani, I guess mas better kung mangita gid ka og middlemen or EMCs. Kaya para mas smoother ang imuhang um, transaction when it comes to exporting. So the next one would be cooperative exporting. So companies that are unwilling to commit the resources to set up their own distribution organization, but still wants to have some control over their foreign operations, should consider cooperative exporting. If they ka willing or committed to the resources na kailangan when it comes to exporting, ay indirect exporting, try to do cooperative exporting. So one of the most popular forms of cooperative exporting is piggyback exporting. I guess familiar mo with what a piggyback is? In short, it is magbaba, right? So with piggybacking, the company uses the overseas distribution network of another company, local or foreign, for selling its goods in the foreign market. So you are going to use the overseas distribution network sa uban nga company. So that is piggyback. So mura kag nagkisabay sa ilahang mga baligya. Let's say for example, um, Toyota. Okay, si Toyota napudi siya other nga mga products nga gina-deal. So aside daw sa Toyota nga mga brands, napo daw Honda. So example ra na siya ha, sa piggybacking. For example, kapamaligya kang Honda. So nakita pra ka sa Toyota nga pwede ba ko mukuan dira mag-hitch kay pareha man ta og product. Mas hindi ganahan po sila og Honda kung medyo mahalan sila sa Toyota. Pero para at least di na sila moadto sa lain nga company kundi sa imo na sa mopalit. That is piggybacking. So magbaba ka sa uban nga company. So we have this example, Wrigley. So this is the US chewing gum company entered India by piggybacking on Paris, a local confectionery firm. So ang nahitabo daw si Wrigley, US nga chewing gum, kay ni piggyback daw siya kay Paris. So kani siya, so kuan po siya nga kuan kanang ilado, sweto nga candy store sa India, confectionery or mga sweets, kapamaligag sweets sa India. So si Wrigley, nasulod siya sa India through Paris. So through this tie-up, Wrigley could plug into Paris distribution network, thereby providing Wrigley with immediate access to 250,000 retail outlets. So the two major attractions that Paris network offered to Wrigley were the overlap in product category and the size of the distribution network. So ang hitabo kanibaba man daw si Wrigley kay Paris. So si Wrigley na siya permi sa tanan outlets ni Paris all over the Indian nga country. Okay? So ang kana pa lang daan distribution channel, grabe na kadako ug ang outlets dako na kinang opportunity nga murag na use or na piggyback ni Wrigley. So another example, let's say for example si Goya. So si Goya daw kay nakitap daw siya kay 7-Eleven. Or yan yung nahitabo. Nagtap si Goya kay 7-Eleven. So tanan noon nga 7-Eleven branch all over the Philippines na ay Goya. So inga na lang gihimo ni Goya instead nga magtukod siya iyang own nga store, nagtap lang siya sa o nagbaba lang siya sa 7-Eleven para mas nilita dagan in distribution and mas easier lang po sa iya. That is cooperative exporting. Makitay-up ka sa uban nga company. So the quality of the distribution network can also play a role. So the more or mas tsada nga distribution network, mas better. So we have this example. I'll just continue my discussion here kami tomorrow. I don't know when na-trigger ni Mondo. Hopefully, di madungan. We have Gillette. Gillette tied up with Bangalore. So this is Bangalore is based in TTK. So this is an Indian manufacturer of pressure cookers and kitchenware. For the distribution of brawn products, despite the fact that Gillette has its own distribution network in India. You guys familiar mo with Gillette? Kanang ato ang mga razors. So ngano nagipag-tie up man siya sa cookers o kitchenwares? Ngano kaya? So Gillette needed department type outlets for its brown product range, precisely the type of distribution channels that TTK uses for the distribution of its merchandise. So ang nahitabo daw kay um here. This is brawn. Hopefully makita kani brawn. Mura siya shaver na type na Gillette. Okay? Murag mo yung product ni Gillette nga brawn. Mura siya shaver nga mas automatic. So, ang nahitabo daw, kay nagpag-tie up daw sila with Bangalore. Si Bangalore kay kitchenware and cookers. That's why sila daw nag-tie up daw sila sa ilaha because kay ang distribution channel kay same ra daw sa TTK. So I guess I will be ending here kasi baka mo daw. So thank you everyone and if you have questions, please feel free to message me anytime. Thank you and goodbye everyone.